Well, we have a bunch of farms that are currently working, a bunch of farms that are currently shut off, and we've managed to work through all of the things that I cared about. And, well, sadly, they're still kind of making things work, but it is at least going so we can finally move some of this stuff out of the messy area that we've got going on. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Captain of Industry. I know we're kind of doing a few of those little ins and out kind of things, and I wanted to just get a bunch of the little kind of thing, the little stuff that we need to do get done before we start absolutely tearing a couple of other things apart. So we should now have at least the same amount of food as we had before, which means we can tear out all of these farms now to build in a nice little food production processing thing area that I kind of want to do about right here. And then again, we're going to leave a decent amount of space. I got to quit using certain words, but we're going to leave a decent amount of space because I do plan on eventually putting as many houses down this direction as possible. And, well, we may end up even going this way with them. Just depends. I mean, given how this story goes here, the way that we have this design going, we can do like this. Oop. Come on. Control C. This, and then do another little thing here. And we can just kind of keep doing that town square thing that direction to make it look kind of nice. But for now, I'm not too terribly concerned about it because what we need to do is we need to finish up with the project that we started last time, which is to rip out all of these old farms that we've been staring at for the longest time so that we can then use the parts to build these. So that's kind of some of the stuff we have been doing. And that's kind of just what I try to do. Every time I move something or upgrading, I upgrade things. Like when we build these down here, or if I move something, I try to build as much of the thing as I can possible beforehand and then keep half of it because we're trying to at least double every time we move. We'll be able to use the parts that come out of here to build this stuff, hopefully, over here. So one of the other things, and I guess we're done working with this now. I don't need those. One of the other things we've started to do now that the iron pit is, well, this iron mine is gone, is I started to do the terraforming here where we have, again, a nice little angle that's going to come to here. And it's going to continue all the way into that mountain, which means we're going to be tearing some of this mountain down and dumping it into this ocean. But I have moved our friends that were working on this mountain range, and they are now working on what's left of this mountain range. Phew, I did all the spinnies. I got a new mouse. I'm still getting used to the new mouse. I was noticing, and I don't know if you guys were noticing, that I was having a problem with a double-clicking issue, and that just means that the mouse that I was having, well, sadly, I really liked that mouse, but the button in the actual mouse decided it wanted to stop functioning, which means I may have to go silly and play an electronic engineer like I used to be and tear the thing apart and replace the button because you can't buy that mouse anymore, and I really, really, really like that mouse. But I'm a Logitech user. I love Logitechs because they have there's a couple of functions with a Logitech that I like, and it's the fact that I use it to do a very, very fast scroll, and they have an unlockable scroll button, and so I continue to use them specifically because of that. But anyhow, as we can see, we are filling in this hole. We're going to use this mountain range to try to fill in as much of the hole as we can. And then we'll go back to digging over here and taking care of some stuff. I think very soon, though, we're also going to start figuring out where we want to draw the line across this plateau. So there will be another square edge probably right about here that will then take off and be, kind of nice little terraform so that this little ramp looks fairly nice. Because eventually I want to move this rail line to go straight through all of this. Because it's pretty much, that's the spot where that rail line will go from one end of this. I mean, you can kind of see it. It's right there. That's about the line where this is going to go, which means there's a lot of less fill work that we have to do. And yeah, we're just going to kind of try to get that done. So we're going to build that almost all the way through all of this stuff, and away we go. I did, in between episodes, have to upgrade this ore sorting plant to the larger ore sorting plant because we are now using a considerable amount of coal. Just every time we do anything, we're using a lot of coal out of this hole here. There's still a ton of it to be had here. We're just going to keep chewing through that until it's gone. They're also making us a very nice flat spot, and once I get a little bit more scraping done in here, I'm going to start filling this hole back in with the stuff that they're doing. So I suppose, actually, the next step I wanted to do while I was here before we get too excited is I want to build a new ramp from here down, but I might wait on that just a little bit. I'm going to let them dig this corner back, and then we're going to build a new ramp that will come into here and start filling this area in, because I want to dig this ramp out and I want to dig all that out. So just the little things that are going on. We're still producing plenty of other stuff over here. And yeah, we've started to scrape this mountain down, and you guys are done doing what I asked you to do. Beautiful. Oh, I don't know. How much do we move when we do this? Where is this one? It should be here. Okay, so you guys are moving. Move this box out of the way. You guys are moving to there. The whole point of me coming over here is that I wanted to start working on the iron that is here. So I think now we're going to edit the area and scoot it over. Let's see what we have as far as this looks like. So that iron is not going to be very deep. Okay, can I get the zone for this area moved? That is this zone. Can I edit, and will it, let me do that, I think. That'll work. I want to just kind of drag that over to right over here so that this is ready to go when the time comes. There's not a lot of iron in that hole, but we will try to use as much of it as we can. The other thing I need to do while I'm thinking about it is I need to go ahead and get a couple of pump jacks and a tank and some trucks on that so that they can start trucking that oil back over here. Good Lord at the rain. Give it up. Anyhow, we want to move this over so you guys can dump designation from there to about there. I think should be good enough. And then once they finish this, then we will start filling in this section. So, all right, administrative stuff taken care of. Everybody is working. Why did that not alarm and tell me that it couldn't dispose it? Huh, did I not put that here? Interesting. I don't know why you didn't tell me that I was not able to do that. That's fine. All right, cool. Well, we're getting down on the limestone too, which is minorly concerning, but okay. Let us work on the next mess. So what I want to do here, now that we should be hauling food back and forth, and we're going to have to be careful with that, we need to go ahead and blow out all of those farms. So we'll unpause, and then I want to deconstruct both of those. And I want the trucks to just take the parts from here, put them over there, which they should do if we give them a little bit of time. So let's just kind of let that run for a little bit, and we'll do that for just a little bit. Well, that looks a little better. Let's go ahead and clean a little bit more of this pipe up. I think I'm going to leave these pumps just in place for right now, even though they're not doing anything. And yeah, we have a little bit more of this to clean up, that to clean up. This can go away, and anything underneath of it can go away. All of this nasty gobbledygook mess of stuff right here can go away, including this, that, this, and that. All right, so what that's going to mean now is that a lot of this right here is going to move. This is all going to get moved over into, like I said, back here, which is going to suck because that means we're going to be hauling ethanol again, probably, but we do have a reasonably okay pipeline right here that I might just keep using. This, I think this bridge may need to go away. We don't need it per se, since the entrance to our vehicle production thing is right here, and it has an exit that way. I think I might go ahead and even blow this one out and stand that pipe up as high as we can, because we're going to be using that line a fair amount. This is going to be it's coming fairly soon. Again, I kind of know it. This is going to be another like pipeline that's going to have to happen, because we're going to need to be able to bring all of the ethanol down here to be able to make the medical stuff as well as some of the other things. And we may end up moving ethanol away from corn. It just depends on how things go. But there we go. We have a nice clear, almost clear area. Go away, please. That should, at least for the moment, be able to be utilized for other things. I just cannot believe it's taken them forever to get that emptied. How are we doing on fertilizer? I think we're okay at this point. Now, granted, we're not storing a massive amount of food right now, and everything is kind of being a pain in the tail. This one, I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was moving things. That's right. You're empty. Good. Get bulldozed. Thank you very much. And you're the spare on here. That'll work. Coal looks a lot better now. That's great. Good enough. So, yeah, we're deep, a little too deep. I think I need to maybe start thinking about moving them up just a little bit, because it's definitely, well, I mean, I don't mind the rock. We're using it to build more island out here, but it is slowing us down slightly. So we may need to start thinking seriously about that. You guys have got almost past to the point where we wanted there. Good. Okay. I want to build a new ramp while I'm thinking about it before we start with the next project. You are going to start there. How high do we have to go? We've got to get to 4. -4. 1, 2. Oh, that worked almost perfectly. So to 3. Yeah, I think we can make that work if we just cut that off and then make it flat. Perfect. And then you guys can fill that little hole in there. I didn't realize that was that deep. Is that right? Okay, cool. So then we need to make sure we cut this off so they don't try to fill in this hole and fill in that hole. And then what we'll do, I don't know, that still doesn't look right, but I guess it's the same length as the other one. Huh. Okay. And then what we can do after that is we can then leveling designation or dumping designation. Something kind of like this, very slowly to fill in until it just starts to touch the side of that thing. And then we go. Cool. All right. I'll get back to work on that, fellas. Thank you. Nice. Oh, yeah, we don't need that for right now. Let's build the ramp first. They might do that first, just given the fact that it's close. If not, well... All right, cool. That's what I wanted to see, is that you guys do that one first before we ran away from me, because I'd like to get that going so we can start digging this direction, because there's a bunch of coal over in that hill still. All right, so let's look at the little things that we can now do with the stuff that we have. The first thing that needs to happen is we need to run belts all the way the heck back over to here again. And I'm going to say that I think I want to try to figure out how to make it look reasonably okay. There's going to be 3 things that will make it all the way over there. So we're going to start a new belt line. How tall is this? Right there. Grab a U-shaped conveyor. Do a measurement. So it is... Okay, that's not amazing. But that's kind of my thought, is that we're going to come through probably right on the edge of this little line right here. Right here. And we're going to take 3 belts that direction. But we're going to need to make sure that we can get through with machines. Because I'm going to have to build a crossing probably right here eventually too. And I think we can. Yes, we can. Good, good, good. Yeah, I think... I know I'm kind of thinking on camera, and I hate that. I am sorry. Let's do one of these. And can we get it? How close can I get it into that hill before it's mad at me? There. So if I do right there on the edge, problem is right now they're using this gap to get to this, which is not a big deal. There's a crossing right here. I theoretically could move that crossing over now if I wanted to. Because once we get the belts coming through here, that traffic will go away. Well, I suppose. Let's break things. We'll start with breaking things right here, I think. Because what I want to do is, we'll just say like right here, there's going to be 3 conveyors coming past at the highest point we can get it, which is going to be right there. So we said that was going to be level 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's as high as we can go under that section right there. All right, so I'm going to start by dragging a belt from here all the way over to there. Go one more back. There we go. There. U-shape lift down. Flip. There. That way under until it is visible. Then I want a U-shape lift here, flipped to there, same difference, to there, and then you are going to get connected and drug this direction until you get to right there, and then we're going to go down one there. I think the baby trucks can still drive under a 2. I think. But we can check that in just a second. You go there. You come through and go over to there. Okay, now, let's look at something here very quickly. If we look at this truck, it needs a height of 2. Okay, so that means it can clear the height of 2. Those are the ones I'm the most concerned about. These need a height of 4. These need a height of 4, 5, and 7. That's why we have a hard time with these, because the belts, the pipes, and these cannot go any higher than that. We could theoretically build this a little steeper, but I don't want to do that. I can technically dig this out a little. Actually, you know what we could do? I could rebuild this back here and then run a straight line from here to there. And then that would make this taller. We'll see how that works. I think that'll be fine. It's not like it's a big deal. As long as we can get around here and do this and then be able to get up here so that when the time comes when we need to be able to go over here. I mean, I don't even know how much is going to get used on this particular ramp, but I want to have a ramp right in here somewhere so that when the time comes and we need to cross right here, which we're going to eventually build a crossing up here, they can. Because in order to get over here, if we do all of this work here, I'm going to have to build a crossing in here, so that's fine. So they'll either be able to go this way, which they can't anymore because this is here. May end up having to build a bridge right there as well. I'm trying not to, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying not to bottleneck us in when the time comes to be able to make more of the, well, if we need to add excavators or send more things this direction, we need to be able to at least make sure that the excavator can get around the area. So, yeah. I think that'll work for now. I know we're thinking on camera. I do apologize. All right, so let's bring the important ones. So we're going to say what's going to happen right here is we're going to adjust. There's going to be a little bit of a wonderful jankiness that's going to happen right here because... yeah, we're going to end up doing a couple of lifts right here to get everything up onto the belts that they need to be on. But let's run belts, I think, for now. I think we should be... I mean, I could make this the same. Why don't you make this the same? Grab all of that. Scoot it down one. Just... really? Connect to there. Connect to there. Let's delete these back to there so we don't have posts. Cool. Delete that, please. Ah, that's why I did that. We could move that back one. Okay, let's make this look as pretty as, excuse me, let's make this as pretty as possible since it's going to be this way. I'm going to scoot you back absolutely one. That's fine. And then we'll go ahead and do this all over again. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think now that I have it figured out in my head what we need to do, we have 6 products that should be coming out of this area once we turn everything on. 4 of which are going to be bulk items, 2 of which will be finished things. So we've got a nice little kind of a waterfall thingy going on over here where they'll drop in underneath, and then we're going to pick these things up to max height and run, I don't know how many. I might try to do it in 2s, or we might just leave it alone. How many do the big trucks need? Because there will come a time we may be using the big trucks for the portability of things around here. How much do you guys need? 4. I think we could get there if we tried. If we care. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyhow, we're going to start another bus line probably, like I said, kind of right about here, I think. But before I get excited about that, let's figure out what it's going to take to make the things that we need to be able to utilize all of the wheat that we should be getting for now. And, well, I'm not going to be turning this one on yet. I'm just going to say this right now. We're not going to be turning these on yet. We're going to leave them alone. But I do want the wheat to start accumulating. So can you guys go to work? We're going to start accumulating fruit and wheat so that we can start building stuff out of that. And we'll see where that goes. This is going to be a nightmare. And the only reason why I'm going to stop right now is because I kind of want to understand how much stuff we can cram in one place. So in order to make bread, and I guess this is going to be the deal that we're going to try to end up with today, we're going to try to get bread built so that we can start feeding them that. So bread is going to be a baking unit with flour and water, and flour is made with a food processor. Food processor or a mill? Mill, okay. So that's 16 plus 2. So let's see what this says it's going to do. So we're going to expect 107. I'm just going to go with that. That sounds like a good number there. 107 times 4 will be 400 and something. 107 times 4 is going to be 420. So let's just make math because we're running on a 90% fertility thingy here instead of 100. So if we kick that to 100, well, we won't be able to see it this round. Yeah, I think we're going to work for like 450. How much can a mill do? A mill can do 16. Oh my. So we're going to end up with a large line of these things eventually. So we probably should make sure we have plenty of room to use them because we can stop doing that for that matter. That's going to be a thing that we're going to need to do. I suppose we probably need to sit down and make a whole bunch of mills. So what did we say? 450, divide that by, well, that's every... So in 6 months, we'll get 100. So it's going to make 20 per minute times 4. That's a little bit more of a better thought than I thought. Granted, that's going to be every couple of months. So let's just say 20 times 4. That's going to be 80 per minute. So 1680 divided by 16. So that's 5. How much is 100? Let's make... I say we make 5 for that for right now. And then we'll figure out how the rest of this is going to work. So mills, I want to start you guys. I don't know how badly they need access to get over here. Where are you going? that was the weirdest drive. Okay, whatever, fine. Let's start with, we'll just make these kind of line this direction. So I'm going to start with that thought. We're going to go ahead and build a mill times 5. I don't remember how these hook up. So you are going to be set to grind wheat into that. So that's going to provide us with, okay, that's what I was wondering, which direction you face. Flip you around. All right, so we're going to give ourselves just a little bit of room here because we do have 4 more ports to be able to pull things through, and I don't want to be sticking myself too much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I do that again, how many is this going to make if we go to the line that we're already at? I think we can do that. I'm not going to do that many right now, but we're going to do mills, something kind of along that line. So that'll make us a whole bunch of flour, and then partials of some of this stuff we're going to then need to drop into a bus line that is going to go into a bunch of things. So if we say we're just going to start with 6 for right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll get rid of those 3 guys. If we decide with 6 of these, we're going to be making 16 of those. The bakery, I think is what it's called. I should be looking at the food production thing here. Baking unit. Baking unit takes, so it's a 1-for-1 plus water. Okay, that's good to know. 1-for-1 plus water, so we need, if we're going to run 6, we need 6. But I will make sure that we don't direct connect them. I do not want to direct connect them. So let's move that forward about there. I think. Come on. Nice. Except that's the wrong way. Way to go. Control X. Flip them around. Give us plenty of room. We have lots. I mean, we have tons of room here. Okay, so the wheat will come in here, which I don't know which one the wheat's going to be. Let's see. Wheat is going to be this line, right? So it's going to be the top belt there. That actually won't bother me. So we'll just say that that one can then become, well, the canola and the canola and the sugarcane are going to go on the top 2 belts. So that means it can take over this one. Okay, so that means it'll be the bottom belt on this side, which means it is this belt right there. Okay, cool. Grab you. And I'm going to, I think I kind of want to do the similar thing that we've got going over here, just so that we have lots of room to kind of drive through stuff. So except I want to take this as high as it'll go. There. There. Okay. And this is where my problem was going to come in, because I'm pretty certain that is 3, right? So 1, 2, 3, and the big trucks need 4, correct? Right. So we can't go any lower than that. Okay, so then we start another line to the side of this here. There. There. Okay, so you can come off of here into there. You come off of here into there. You go to there. This should be the last one of those. And then we do the same thing here with some flat belts. Starting their own line there. And do that again here. And then those can come. Nope, I don't want that. I want a flat conveyor from here to there. And a flat conveyor from here to there. Okay. And then those can be a nice stacked tall mess that we'll be able to sort off of barely. I probably should back those up a little bit, huh? Yeah, I think we need to back these up a little. I want a... Let's see if we can get a 2-gap space between things, if need be. I'll grab you two and move you backwards just a little. So those are going to go 1 gap right here. I have the room. I can do that. The only reason I'm saying that is because if you want to try to pull something off of the inside belt here, like here, I'm going to have room to get to it. An awful lot of room. We can figure that out. All I need really is 1 space. All we need is 1 space, Frogman. All we need. And we can do some other things too. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think let's do this. Back this up at least 1. We'll put that right there so that the belt line will go straight through here. And then, yeah, I think I moved it too much. We'll just do 1. Yeah, I think that'll work, actually. I'm going to do something like that. The reasoning why is because you can take a belt line like right here and run it this way. And then if need be, pull off of it from the side, like so, on either side. You still have enough room to go wherever you need to do, plus have a belt that goes through. So that's what I want to do. I think we'll be good to go with that. Do this, and then you do whatever this is. Okay, nice. I think I'm getting somewhere. I know I've been sitting here kind of prattling around on camera for a little while, but we're going to need to kind of figure some of this out. What we need to do for certain is we need to, now that we know where this line is going to go, there are going to be, let's see, these are going to be all of the bulk lines. These are the bulk line. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have made sure that the things that went through are on the other side of the belt. Well, we're going to need things. The only thing, yeah, well, I mean, eventually even either way, because we can use, I know I'm getting a little sidetracked here. I do apologize. Vegetables can be used to make food packs. I think that'll work. I think it's time to run some belts down to here so that we can get those things plugged back in. And then we can stop trucking stuff. So let me get that sorted. I think that looks nice. I mean, we're probably going to have to build another similar thing right here. But I don't know if I want them to be driving through here now. I don't really think we need to worry about that right now, although I know why I did that. We'll have to keep an eye on this because we are going to need to be able to send things this direction, and it's either going to have to happen right here or it's going to have to happen right in there. So let's build with the idea that we may need to do this again. So if I copy you and I place you in line once we get there, we can do something like that right there. And then we can say that this is the separation area for where the actual next line of housing areas will be. I think that'll work. Cool. All right, so let's get some stuff going then. And that is getting the vegetables and the corn down desperately. So, yeah, I'm going to have to make my D-sides up. So I will be back in a minute, guys. Okay, so for the next conundrum, while I'm sitting here playing around with this thing, it's going to be an awful lot of belts. I kind of like the way this looks. I know I could lay things around and do things differently, but it doesn't really matter. Kind of, like I said, kind of like the way that looks. It should work okay for now. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, again, split out things so that we have at least one single belt space in between things. That'll allow us to do a few of the things that we need to do, mainly be able to access it. So how this is going to work, at least for right now, from what I can see, there are 3 things that we're going to be able to immediately eat. So it's going to be the vegetables, the fruit that is back here that will be coming in fairly soon, and the corn. So I have 2 of the, flat conveyors sitting here, and then 1 loose conveyor on top. So those 3 belts are going to be the ones that go all the way back over here for now. So now we have the problem, and the fact is that I laid this up incorrectly. I should have switched everything up and did it around backwards, because the corn belt is on the wrong side while it's over here, which is fine. It's okay. We're just going to have to make this look, we don't have to make it look perfect, but it does need to work at least a little better. And yeah, we've got so many pillars in the middle of our driveway that I don't even know what I'm going to do. So for now, I'm not going to worry about building a ramp right here, because I think the ramp will come in right here once we get to that point. I don't think I need to build any excavators for this section anytime soon. So I think for now we're not going to be concerned with it. That can be a later Frogman problem when that happens, because we have bread and chicken and all kinds of other things to build in here. So like I said, this is going to be between right here and that line right here is where we're going to build as much food production as we can manage to cram into things, which is going to include processing of the sugarcane, the canola, and a couple other things. Well, yeah, making this wheat into bread, wheat into other things. So it's going to be interesting. And if need be, we can continue to move this direction, because I really don't care which direction we push the housing. If we need to go clear to the rail line, that's fine. But I do want to try to maintain it all within these 2 sides here. So we should be able to do a couple of things. So let's plug those in, turn things on, and stop trucking stuff. And then I think what I'm going to do kind of off camera in between episodes is maybe getting the rest of this going, or at least get something designed and built better than this, because I really don't care for this. This episode is taken long enough as it is. So let's go ahead, plug this in. So I think what we had is we're going to migrate from where we are here. So these 2 bottom ones should be the 2 flat stuff that we're going to need. We should have fruit by now. I really need to upgrade that belt right there. There you guys go. Now we can combine into a single reasonably fast belt. Okay, whatever. So this is going to be vegetable. This is going to be fruit. Once we blow this storage out, it will be vegetable, fruit, and corn. So technically, I could theoretically hook up that right now if I cared, to get them to stop hauling it. Why don't you do this for right now, and then we can build a thing that we do as we need to do it. And then you can go, I think there's maybe enough room in here. Man, that train is loud. Flat connection, flat lift off of here. You're going to go to the bottom, correct. All right. And then we'll bring you from here to there. How did that turn around? I always love this. Whatever. Go to there. Cool. Okay, so let us unpause this, that. That is not the one I wanted unpaused. No, that's right. That's right. So then we go here. Go ahead and do it. Those are going to be ones we're going to need anyway. So we'll just go ahead and have those build themselves right now. And then unpause, pause, unpause. And same thing here to there. And they can work on building those. That's going to be an awful lot of red stuff. I'm fine with it, though. It is okay. So then the corn is going to come... So I suppose what we should be able to do is a flat lift fairly close to here, which is going to catch that one. And I'll have to clean the conveyor ends and everything up when the time comes, but that can go to there. Then this, I think we'll just keep the lifts in line. Except I didn't want that lift. I need a lift that is taller than that. Height max. Stop trying to connect. So there. Then you can go, nope. There to there. And we're just going to have a little bitty connection right here for now. And then you, well, like I said, you just need to have a small space. So a loose connection, loose lift there. Flip it around. You go to there. Then you can come in and go right there. And then you guys do me a huge favor. Unpause all of... Actually, don't do this one yet. Unpause all that, please. Nice. And now we wait on them to build one of the longest lines of conveyors. Well, not quite the longest line, I suppose. It's pretty stinking long, though. That's good. It'll work. Truck is struggling to find a location it can reach because it got stuck. Unpause, get recovered. Silly truck. All right, so these will be usable for the fruit, which we will notice an increase in our Unity as soon as that gets kicked up. I suppose I need to go look at that because we haven't been doing a few things. Let's see, food consumption, that is turned down, but we're still making a bunch of goodnesses here. I would like to put the health conditions back up a little bit. That did help a little bit, and we can may reduce water for now, and we'll see how many that'll give us if we kick these up. I'd like to. All right, so we have parts to there, and yeah, we're just waiting on rubber. Oh my, yeah, I need to make more rubber. Those things get very expensive very quickly. Oh, hey, it looks like we finally have a little bit of fruit. That's going to be nice. Cool. Unpause that. Yeah, we've got fruit coming along the belt. Lovely. So we've got a few things that should be able to get built here fairly soon. And I want to make sure that this gets paused so we can drain that corn connection. And then the other thing I'm going to have to care about is, can I... Well, we'll see. Once the corn gets over here... Once we get the corn over here, then we'll care. We have a lot of things we've got to build at this point. Sometimes that's all it requires is just a little shove. Can you please finish moving things around? You know, that's really all you care about. Can you pause that one particular segment? And we're just going to dry up this belt there. Dry up all of that. Then you can get unpaused. And then this can get... You can get unpaused. You get deleted. Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. May have to work on cleaning this up eventually, but I think for now that will do the work. So the corn is being dumped through. We have fruit that should be on the line. Why are we not delivering fruit? Oh, because we haven't finished this one. Please just finish it. As much of it as you can, please. Very cool. All right, so here comes the veggies. Here comes the fruit. The corn is already backed up. And very, very, very soon... Okay, so I'm going to leave you down. I want to make a route export assigned to this for now. Numbers are going up. That's good. 25 months. Once it fills that little thing up, we should be somewhat reasonably good at getting a couple of things going. Good. Well, we finally have another little bit of food ready to go, and I'm glad that those farms are hooked up, and now we can see how this is going to work. The wheat will be the next production, and we will start working on that in the next episode. I do need to go ahead and build that bridge now that we have a mess of stuff going on over here. But I think, yes, I think now we start working on the things that need to go for producing a considerable amount more food. So we're going to be building bread next episode. I'm going to attempt to get chickens going next episode so we can do the meat and the eggs. And if we have anything left over, then we'll probably also start building sausage. But for now, we have a bunch of stuff going on. And the flatter these guys make this out here, the more I am inclined to take a bunch more of this dirt that we have laying around and making some more farms. So I think that's going to be another day, another time for now. I'll see y'all later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.